Welcome to Learning Life Content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories. Laughter. That most delightful and universal of human expressions. It is in many ways the true language of our species, spoken fluently by every man, woman and child, regardless of where they hail from or what tongue they speak. There is a certain magic in laughter, a simple, unadulterated outpouring of joy that has the remarkable power to draw us together, dissolving barriers and differences in an instant. It is a force that transcends borders and languages, weaving a golden thread through the tapestry of humanity, connecting us all in the most profound and intimate of ways. Whether it be a gentle chuckle, a mischievous giggle, or a thunderous, full-bellied roar, laughter is the great unifier, reminding us time and again of our shared experience upon this curious planet. In those moments, as we share a joke or a story, laughter becomes a balm for the soul, a reminder of the absurdity of existence and the exquisite beauty found in fleeting shared moments of mirth. Comedy, the noble art of provoking laughter, has been our steadfast companion for centuries, if not millennia. From the earliest days of civilization, humans have sought to amuse and entertain, to find light in the darkness and joy amidst hardship. Picture, if you will, the bustling amphitheatres of ancient Greece, where Aristophanes' biting satires echoed beneath the open sky, or the raucous comedies of Rome, where jesters and actors delighted crowds with their wit and slapstick. Fast forward through the centuries, and you'll find laughter ringing out in the candlelit halls of Shakespearean England, and, in our own time, in the living rooms of millions, as families gather to enjoy the latest sitcom on television. And who, I ask, could be a more fitting guide on this journey through the annals of humour than the inimitable master of laughter himself, Mr. Charlie Chaplin? With his unmistakable bowler hat perched jauntily atop his head and his trusty cane in hand, Chaplin understood perhaps better than anyone the transformative power of a simple smile. He could, with a mere twitch of his moustache or a perfectly timed pratfall, elicit gales of laughter from audiences the world over without ever uttering a single word. In doing so, he proved that comedy is, indeed, a language understood by all, regardless of age, creed or nationality. So let us embark together on this delightful journey through time, hand in hand with Chaplin, as we explore the rich and ever-evolving history of comedy, from the ancient stages of antiquity to the glowing screens of today. Before we embark upon our journey through the annals of comedic history, let us take a moment, a gentle pause, if you will, to become acquainted with the remarkable gentleman who would, in time, come to be regarded as the very heart and soul of silent cinema. Our tale does not commence amidst the flickering lights of the silver screen, but rather in the labyrinthine, gaslit streets of Victorian London. Picture, if you can, a city shrouded in perpetual mist, where the clang of horse-drawn carriages mingled with the cries of street vendors, and where the grandeur of stately homes stood in stark contrast to the squalor of the slums. It was a world of both dazzling opulence and crushing poverty, a city teeming with life and hardship in equal measure. Let us, dear listener, draw back the curtain and peer into the early life of our guide, Charles Spencer Chaplin. His name, now immortalized in the annals of cinematic history, was once but a whisper in the crowded tenements of London. Born into circumstances that could scarcely be described as fortunate, young Charlie's existence was marked by adversity from the very outset. Yet it is precisely this crucible of hardship that forged the resilience, ingenuity and boundless creativity that would one day captivate the world. His is a story not merely of survival, but of the indomitable human spirit and the extraordinary power of laughter to illuminate even the darkest of days. The year was 1889, a time when London was the beating heart of an empire, yet also a place where the chasm between wealth and want yawned wide. Into this world Charlie Chaplin was born, the son of two music hall performers. His father, a man of some talent but little reliability, was often absent, leaving the family to fend for themselves. His mother, Hannah, possessed a voice of angelic quality, but was beset by ill health and the relentless grip of poverty. The Chaplin's existence was precarious, a constant struggle against hunger and homelessness. The workhouse, an institution dreaded by the poor, became an all-too-familiar refuge. Its cold stone walls a stark reminder of society's indifference to the plight of its most vulnerable. Yet, amidst the gloom and uncertainty, young Charlie found solace in the world of performance. Imagine, if you will, a small boy, eyes wide with wonder, standing at the edge of a bustling street, utterly transfixed by the antics of itinerant entertainers. The laughter and applause that echoed through the air were, to him, like rays of sunlight piercing the London fog, a promise that joy could be found, even in the most unlikely of places. It was here, in these fleeting moments of delight, that the seeds of his future genius were sown. The world of vaudeville beckoned, a vibrant, chaotic realm of variety acts, slapstick routines and larger-than-life personalities. For young Charlie, the vaudeville stage was both sanctuary and schoolroom. Here, beneath the glare of gas lamps and the expectant gaze of rowdy audiences, he learned the art of physical comedy, the subtlety of mime, and the delicate timing required to elicit laughter with nothing more than a raised eyebrow or a well-timed stumble. The stage became his refuge, a place where he could momentarily escape the hardships of his daily life and, in doing so, bring joy to others. It was during these formative years, amidst the raucous applause and the ever-present scent of grease paint, that a character began to take shape. A character who would, in time, become a symbol of hope for millions. The Tramp, as he would come to be known, was a figure both comic and tragic. A wanderer, clad in ill-fitting clothes, his bowler hat perched jauntily atop his head, a toothbrush moustache adorning his upper lip, and a cane twirling in his hand. But the Tramp was more than mere costume. He was an embodiment of the struggles, dreams, and quiet dignity of ordinary people everywhere. Consider, if you will, the image of the Tramp. His coat a size too small, his trousers comically baggy, his gait a peculiar blend of grace and awkwardness. He was, in every sense, an outsider, a man adrift in a world that seemed determined to keep him at arm's length. And yet, through sheer force of will and an irrepressible sense of humour, the Tramp managed to find moments of happiness and connection, even in the face of relentless adversity. In this way, Chaplin gave voice to the voiceless, offering solace and laughter to those who needed it most. The genius of the Tramp lay in his universality. Whether you were a factory worker in Manchester, a shopkeeper in Paris, or a farmer in the American Midwest, you could see something of yourself in his misadventures. The Tramp's struggles and triumphs spoke to the fundamental human desire for happiness, belonging and dignity, a desire that transcends class, nationality and circumstance. In a world often divided by language and custom, Chaplin's creation became a bridge, uniting audiences in shared laughter and empathy. Chaplin's films, silent though they were, spoke volumes. They crossed boundaries of language and culture, with effortless grace, their humour and humanity resonating with viewers from every corner of the globe. Long before the advent of radio, television or the internet, Chaplin was a global phenomenon, a man whose artistry brought people together in a shared experience of joy and understanding. What set Chaplin apart, however, was not merely his comedic prowess, but his extraordinary ability to blend laughter with genuine emotion. In the space of a single scene, he could have you doubled over with mirth, only to move you to tears with a glance so full of longing and vulnerability that it seemed to lay bare the very soul of humanity. His performances were a delicate balancing act, a dance between humour and heartbreak, always reminding us of the beauty and fragility of life itself. Chaplin's films were not mere diversions, they were works of art, rich with meaning and emotion. Through his stories he explored themes of poverty and justice and the eternal search for belonging. Yet he did so with a lightness of touch and a generosity of spirit that ensured his audiences were always entertained, even as they were moved to reflect upon the world around them. In the darkest days of the Great Depression, when hope seemed in short supply, the tramp's resilience and humour offered comfort to millions. Chaplin understood, perhaps better than anyone, that comedy is not simply about provoking laughter. It is about forging connections, offering solace, and reminding us that no matter how dire our circumstances, we are never truly alone. And so the legacy of Mr. Chaplin endures, a testament to the enduring power of laughter and the unbreakable spirit of the human heart. Picture, if you will, the sun-drenched hills of ancient Greece, where marble columns rise from the earth and the air is thick with the scent of olive groves. It is here, in this cradle of civilization, that our journey truly begins, amidst the bustling city-states, the spirited debates of philosophers, and the birth of democracy itself. The Greeks, ever the innovators, not only laid the foundations for Western thought and governance, but also for the very art of theatre, which would come to shape the laughter of generations to follow. In the grand amphitheatres carved into the hillsides, thousands would gather beneath the open sky, their faces illuminated by the golden light of Helios. Here, amidst the solemnity of tragic tales and the weighty musings of philosophers, a new and delightful form of entertainment emerged: comedy. It was a revelation, a breath of fresh air, infusing the ancient world with wit, joy, and a clever irreverence that delighted the masses. At the heart of this comedic revolution stood Aristophanes, a playwright whose name would echo through the ages as the father of comedy. With a quill as sharp as a philosopher's tongue, Aristophanes wielded satire and wit to lampoon the powerful politicians, philosophers, and the everyday citizens of Athens alike. His plays were a mirror held up to society, reflecting both its follies and its virtues with equal measure. Imagine, if you can, the great philosopher Socrates, renowned for his wisdom, portrayed as a befuddled fool dangling precariously in a basket, pondering the mysteries of the heavens. Such was the genius of Aristophanes' play, The Clouds, a brilliant and biting satire that poked fun at the intellectual elite and the very notion of philosophical inquiry. The audience no doubt roared with laughter at the sight, recognizing both the absurdity and the truth in the performance. Aristophanes' works were a riot of clever wordplay, outrageous characters, and social commentary so sharp it could cut through the thickest of Athenian pride. His actors donned exaggerated costumes and masks, their gestures grand and their voices booming, ensuring that even those seated in the farthest reaches of the amphitheatre could not miss the jest. The laughter that echoed through those ancient stone seats was not merely the laughter of amusement, but of recognition. The audience saw themselves, flaws and all, reflected in the antics on stage. Comedy in this sacred space became a tool for reflection, a means to challenge the status quo and provoke thought, all while entertaining the masses. These comedic masterpieces were not reserved for idle amusement alone. They were performed during grand religious festivals, such as the Dionysia, where the entire city would gather in celebration. Laughter, it seemed, was not only permitted in these sacred gatherings, it was essential, a vital part of the communal experience. Through satire and spectacle, comedy became a vehicle for addressing the pressing social issues of the day. It was a means to critique authority, to question tradition, and to revel in the delightful absurdity of human nature itself. The stage became a forum for free expression, where no subject was too lofty nor any figure too revered to escape the playwright's pen. Thus, in the heart of ancient Athens, comedy flourished, not merely as entertainment but as a powerful instrument of social commentary, cleverly cloaked in laughter and enjoyed by all who gathered beneath the timeless sky. As the golden age of Greece gradually faded into the mists of antiquity, a new and formidable power began to assert itself upon the world stage, the mighty Roman Empire. With its inexorable rise, Rome did not merely conquer lands and peoples, it absorbed, adapted and transformed the very cultural fabric of those it ruled. Among the many treasures it inherited was the art of comedy, a tradition the Romans both revered and reimagined. The Romans, ever pragmatic and ambitious, were great admirers of Greek theatre. Yet they were not content to simply imitate. Instead, they infused the world of humour with their own distinctive sensibilities, creating a comedic tradition that was unmistakably Roman in character. As the influence of Greece waned, Rome's star ascended, illuminating the ancient world with a new, vibrant brand of laughter. Roman comedy, as masterfully crafted by playwrights such as Plautus and Terence, shifted the focus from the lofty, often tragic themes of their Greek predecessors to the bustling, earthy realities of everyday Roman life. These plays were not set in the palaces of gods or the courts of kings, but in the lively streets, crowded marketplaces and chaotic households of ancient Rome. The characters were instantly recognizable to the common citizen. The wily, quick-witted slave, the braggart soldier, puffed up with self-importance, the sharp-tongued wife and the hopelessly lovesick young man. The humour was direct, accessible and frequently tinged with a delightful cheekiness, designed to elicit laughter from the masses rather than the elite. The Roman stage became a mirror in which the audience could see themselves, their neighbours and the foibles of daily existence reflected with both affection and satire. Picture, if you will, a world of mistaken identities, tangled love affairs and servants whose cunning far outstrips that of their masters. The plots of these comedies were intricate tapestries, woven with threads of deception, surprise and wit. Characters darted in and out of scenes, forever scheming, hiding and revealing secrets at the most inopportune moments. The pace was brisk, the dialogue sharp, and the situations delightfully absurd. Audiences revelled in the chaos, their laughter ringing out in the open-air theatres, a testament to the enduring power of clever wordplay and the universal appeal of human folly. Imagine, if you will, a play in which two identical twins, separated at birth by the cruel hand of fate, find themselves unwittingly reunited in the same bustling city. The ensuing confusion is a veritable symphony of misunderstandings as friends, family and lovers alike mistake one twin for the other. Each encounter adds another layer to the farce, until the entire city seems caught in a whirlwind of comic misadventure. The audience, privy to the truth, delights in the mounting absurdity, eagerly awaiting the moment when all is finally revealed. This, dear listener, is the essence of Plautus's Menechmi, a masterpiece of Roman farce that has echoed through the ages. In this play, and in others like it, we see the roots of comedic storytelling that would influence generations of writers and performers long after the marble columns of Rome had crumbled to dust. The laughter that once filled the grand amphitheatres was more than mere entertainment. It was a vital respite from the weighty affairs of empire and the relentless march of history. Yet, as the Roman Empire tottered and fell, giving way to the shadowy uncertainty of the Middle Ages, the great theatres grew silent. The marble stages, once alive with the sound of laughter, stood empty and forlorn. But comedy, ever resilient, did not vanish. Instead, it found new guardians in the form of travelling performers, wandering souls who carried the torch of mirth across the length and breadth of medieval Europe. These itinerant entertainers became the lifeblood of laughter, bringing joy to towns and villages far removed from the grandeur of Rome. These minstrels, jesters and troubadours were the true heirs of ancient comedy. With nimble feet and quick tongues, they roamed from bustling marketplaces to the echoing courtyards of castles, captivating audiences with their songs, jests and feats of acrobatic daring. Their performances were not distant spectacles, but lively interactive affairs, drawing the crowd into the heart of the action. They lampooned local officials, spun tales of love and folly, and used the universal language of physical comedy to delight young and old alike. In their hands, laughter became a communal experience, a thread that bound together people of all stations and walks of life. These performers were, in every sense, the entertainers of their age. In a world often beset by hardship, uncertainty and toil, they offered a precious escape, a few moments of levity in the midst of daily struggle. Their humour ranged from the bawdy to the clever, from the ribald to the refined, but always with the aim of lifting spirits and fostering a sense of shared humanity. The laughter they inspired was a balm, soothing the cares of peasants and nobles alike, and reminding all who listened that joy could be found even in the darkest of times. Picture, if you will, a jester in motley garb, juggling knives with reckless abandon while delivering sly jests at the expense of the king himself. Or a troupe of travelling players, their faces painted and their voices raised, performing a raucous comedy about a mischievous friar whose antics upend the order of the day. These acts were more than mere diversions. They were subtle acts of social commentary, using the shield of humour to challenge authority, question tradition, and expose the absurdities of daily life. Medieval comedy, in all its raucous, irreverent glory, was a welcome antidote to the rigours of existence. In the laughter that echoed through village squares and castle halls, the seeds of modern comedy were quietly sown. These seeds would take root and flourish in the fertile soil of the Renaissance, blossoming into the rich and varied comedic traditions that continue to shape the way we laugh even in our own time. And so, from the grandeur of Rome to the humble stages of medieval Europe, the spirit of comedy endured, ever evolving, ever vital, ever ready to remind us of the joy and folly of being human. Ah, the Renaissance, a golden age of rebirth and enlightenment, where the very air seemed to shimmer with the promise of discovery and the pursuit of beauty. It was during this remarkable epoch, stretching from the late 15th to the early 17th century, that the world of art, science and literature flourished in ways previously unimaginable. And, my dear listener, comedy was swept up in this tide of innovation, blossoming into a form both sophisticated and delightfully irreverent. Theatres, those grand wooden structures with open roofs and bustling galleries, became the beating heart of the city, drawing together nobles and commoners alike. The stage, once a modest platform for simple tales, was transformed into a vibrant arena where language, wit and human folly were explored with unprecedented depth and daring. Audiences, hungry for both amusement and insight, flocked to these playhouses, eager to see their own hopes, fears and foibles reflected in the flickering candlelight and the laughter of the crowd. It was in this heady atmosphere that William Shakespeare, the immortal bard of Avon, emerged as a towering figure, a man whose mastery of language and insight into the human soul would forever alter the course of literature. Shakespeare, with his nimble quill and boundless imagination, crafted plays that traversed the entire spectrum of human emotion. From the giddy heights of love and joy to the shadowy depths of tragedy and despair, his words danced and sparkled upon the stage, weaving together humour and heartache in a tapestry more intricate than any before. His genius, you see, was not merely in the poetic cadence of his lines, but in his profound understanding of what it means to be human, our dreams, our follies, our endless yearning for meaning and connection. In every jest and every sigh, Shakespeare captured the very essence of the human condition, inviting us to laugh at our own absurdities, even as we ponder the mysteries of existence. Consider, if you will, the enduring brilliance of Shakespeare's comedies. Works such as Much Ado About Nothing and Twelfth Night, which continue to enchant audiences centuries after their first performance. These plays are veritable feasts of wit and invention, brimming with clever disguises, mistaken identities, and a veritable symphony of sharp-tongued banter. The humour is layered, my friends, ranging from the broad slapstick of bumbling servants to the most sophisticated puns and double entendres, ensuring that every member of the audience, from the learned scholar to the humble tradesman, finds something to delight in. The plots twist and turn with delightful unpredictability, keeping all in attendance on the edge of their seats, eager to see what new mischief or revelation the next scene might bring. Shakespeare, ever the keen observer of human nature, gifted us with a gallery of unforgettable characters, bumbling constables whose earnest incompetence provides endless amusement, mischievous fairies who flit through moonlit forests sowing confusion and delight, and star-crossed lovers whose passions lead them into the most deliciously tangled misunderstandings. Through these figures the bard poked gentle fun at the powers that be, celebrated the wild unpredictability of love, and exposed the absurdities that lurk in the everyday. His comedies, you see, often blur the line between reality and illusion, inviting us to question our own perceptions and to find laughter in the most unexpected places. In this way, Shakespeare reminds us that to be human is, in part, to be delightfully ridiculous. Picture, if you will, a scene in which two proud souls, each convinced of the other's secret affection, are drawn into a battle of wits so spirited and so cunning that the very air crackles with anticipation. Shakespeare delighted in constructing these intricate webs of deception and self-delusion where pride and passion collide in a dance as old as time. The resulting chaos is not merely a source of laughter, but a mirror held up to our own vanities and vulnerabilities. In these tangled plots, the bard explores the delicate balance between trust and suspicion, the games we play in pursuit of happiness, and the bittersweet truth that love, in all its forms, is both a blessing and a bewilderment. Take, for instance, Much Ado About Nothing, a play that stands as a shining testament to Shakespeare's unrivaled skill in crafting dialogue that sparkles with wit and wisdom. The repartee between Beatrice and Benedick, two of the most beloved characters in all of literature, is a masterclass in verbal sparring, their every exchange a duel of intellect and emotion. This play, with its intricate plotting and richly drawn characters, has inspired countless adaptations and remains a perennial favourite among theatre-goers. Shakespeare's uncanny ability to capture the rhythms of real conversation while elevating it with poetic grace is a key reason why his comedies have endured through the centuries, their humour as fresh and vital today as when they were first penned. The influence of Shakespeare upon the art of comedy is, quite simply, immeasurable. His works have not only enriched the English language with a treasure trove of phrases and expressions, but have also shaped the very structure of comedic storytelling itself. Devices such as mistaken identity, cross-dressing, and the deft use of irony, now staples of the genre, owe much to his inventive genius. Through his plays, Shakespeare established a template for comedy that has been emulated and reimagined by generations of writers and performers. Indeed, the echoes of Shakespeare's wit and wisdom can be heard in every corner of the comedic world, from the slapstick antics of vaudeville to the romantic entanglements of Hollywood's golden age. His plays set the stage, quite literally, for centuries of innovation, inspiring countless playwrights, actors and filmmakers to push the boundaries of what comedy could achieve. In every clever turn of phrase, every unexpected twist of plot, and every character who dares to defy convention in the name of love or laughter, we find the indelible mark of the bard's influence. In the end, Shakespeare showed us that comedy could be both a source of merriment and a vehicle for profound reflection, a means of exploring the most complex themes while still delighting the heart. His wit, undimmed by the passage of centuries, continues to resonate with audiences young and old, reminding us that laughter is a powerful tool for understanding ourselves and the world we inhabit. Through his plays, we are reminded that wisdom and humour are not so very far apart, and that the joy of comedy, like the legacy of the bard himself, is truly timeless. Thank you for watching Learning Life content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories.